Well, as the holiday weekend approaches, chances are you're planning some pool time. And this morning, we want to help you keep your family safe.
So important because, that is really, I think, the most scary thing for the summer. Our Sydney Stallworth continues her swim safety series this summer. And Sydney, I know today you're talking all about inflatables. Really tell people why we should think twice because they seem harmless.
Michelle, Rennie, they totally do, but it really depends on who's in the water. I want you to take a look behind me this morning. You'll see a couple of our young swimmers getting ready. We're at the O'Fallon Park YMCA. The Mako swim team is running laps this morning before they get into the pool. Now, these are some of our older kids, but with the younger ones, they want to use things like I'm wearing right now. Inner tubes, inflatables, things like that in the pool. They seem harmless, but if they're left unattended with kids who aren't proficient swimmers, they can truly be dangerous. And I want to show you why. Go ahead and take a look at your screen this morning. I looked into why these instances pop up with inflatables and things like that. But first of all, I spoke with an aquatics director here who tells us why you should be careful. Take a look.
Well, inner tubes like that, we also don't allow in pools here because if a kid was to fall under, you can't see them underneath the inner tube. And that would kind of hinder the lifeguard's ability to come and rescue them.
Now remember, swim floaties, tubes, and pool noodles don't prevent drowning and should never be used as a substitute for a life jacket. If you want, you can use them in addition to life jackets. So here's some safer alternatives. You might want to use a life jacket and a swim vest that supports the chest for your kids who aren't proficient swimmers. You want to use kickboards and pool noodles if your kid is proficient in the water, or you can use them in combination with the life vest. But these are for fun and learning, not to keep your child safe. Kids love to play in the pool, but the aquatics director that I spoke with says it's time to ditch one age-old game that we probably all used to play in the deep end.
Breath holding games is a big one, going underwater and holding your breath for a super long time. Kids get out of breath, and then when they're in too deep of water trying to do it, they start panicking, and then they start kind of like actively drowning. So then that becomes a problem.
So those holding breath games really not safe for the 4th of July weekend or any time. Now, one thing I want to point out, those single arm like blow up inflatable floaties that you just put on here when you're young, you're learning how to swim. I know I learned how to swim with those on. Well, newer research is saying that that's not the safest option for your kid. You want to use something like this. This is what's called a puddle jumper, right? So it has the arm floaties here, but it's made with a material that doesn't inflate. So it doesn't deflate in the water. There's no safety risk with that. And it has this front piece that goes on the chest that also helps to support your kids. It's very important to stay safe in the water. I'll give you one more look at the Mako swim team as they get ready for practice, and you're going to be hearing about them later on this weekend today in St. Louis. A very, very cool team, an all-black swim team, making sure to close the disparities and the gaps when it comes to swim proficiency. That's the latest here at the O'Fallon Park YMCA. I'm Sydney Stallworth, 5 on your side.